Welcome to episode number 19 of Reezy Talks. Yes, I changed the show name. I was getting tired of money talks, and we're starting to talk about more things than just money. There's also another podcast called Money Talks, and I figured what better way or name for the show than telling you exactly what goes on, because your boy talks and you know it. Let me get the YouTube page open real quick. I'm super slacking on my Macking. Just give me 1 second here, guys, and I will get the comments going. Shout out to all the moderators that help us keep these YouTube comments clean. We got Big West, y'all, Miners Treasures, Tech of All Trade. Shout out to some of the first comers in the chat. Rhonda Marsh, Bobby Moons, Cat Scratch 55, Miggity Mike, Miners Treasures, said that twice, Bobby Moons, Reseller Niche Podcast. What's up, guys? If you have a question that you want answered on the show today, please go to my Instagram and comment on my second to last post, the one that shows the show logo. This one, let me show you guys. Boom. That one right there. Go comment on that picture right there, and I will make sure that those questions get answered in the show. Like I said, it's only going to be 45 minutes. I just got back from VidCon last night at 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm leaving tomorrow at 6 a.m. to go to Denver for softball. So if any of you guys would like to meet up with me, I'll be in Denver or Aurora, Colorado for the next 5 to 6 days for softball, but I will have some free time, and I'm always down to do a Reezy Ninja meetup. I love to see you guys and just to show love to the people that show love to me. So that would be great. Here's the picture you need to comment on. I'm also live on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, of course, it's at Reezy Resells on Instagram and anywhere else on the internet. One thing, let me see what I'm going to go into. First, I'll just do some talks real quick and see what everyone's up to. If you have a question in the YouTube live chat, please put question in all caps and then put a question. Moderators, can you copy and paste those questions into a list? That way, when I'm looking for questions to answer, I can get them easily. Feel free to text me those questions if you guys have them. That would be awesome. Shout out to the Thriftologist because he came with this super vintage Hornets hat for me. Check it out. I don't know if I like the way it looks forward. It's all right, but I definitely like the way it looks backwards and to the left. You feel me? Check out this crazy snap, though. Like, I never seen a hat that has this type of fastener on. It's pretty sick. Mitchell and Ness vintage Hornets hat. Pretty sick. Shout out to your boy Landon for hooking it up for me. That's what happens when you care about people. They care about you, and they bring you cool stuff. So real quick, if you guys didn't notice, there was an Instagram update that just went through 1 to 2 days ago. So if you haven't updated your Instagram app, update your Instagram right now. What this update allows you to do is it allows you to save your live broadcast. So you might have seen some people's stories at the top of the Instagram story tab, and they have a little play button in the bottom of the story indicating that they have a live saved on there. So what happens is when you finish doing a live on Instagram, it asks you if you would like to share it with your audience for the next 24 hours. If you choose to, your audience can then watch your story, watch your live on your story for the next 24 hours. And no matter how long it is, it'll be on there. They can tap the screen to skip through it in pre-measured increments. And the best thing ever is that the comments are on there. So if you like to go live at a certain time and your audience is not usually live at that time, this will be a great boon for you. I don't even know if I use that word right. This will be great for you. For example, when Scotty G does his stock talks in the morning, his Instagram is at Ricky Analog. He's teaching people how to trade stocks. Not everyone's going to be up at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 5 a.m. for me on the West Coast, so I wouldn't be up. But now you can catch up on those all through the time. And even better, it shows you concurrent viewers, like over the 24 hours, how many people added up on the views. So this is going to get you a lot more views and a lot more impressions on your Instagram. Very, very useful. I am very, very psyched for this Instagram update. Another major update in the social media world is Snapchat rolled out Snap Maps. This came out maybe a week ago max. So if you haven't updated, your Snapchat, update your app. this segment might just be called Update Your App in the future. So update your Snapchat and Instagram. The Snapchat update, it has a map. Then it shows other Snapchatters where you're at on the map. So to access the feature, when you're in the camera mode, you just pinch the screen and then it brings up a map. And if you've elected to either be seen by everybody or seen just by your followers or friends or just by the people you selected, or you could turn it on ghost mode and not let anyone see where you're at, your Bitmoji is shown on a map and then people can see where you're at. It's pretty cool. Like say if you're at a big event and you want someone to meet up with you, but you're just walking around and you're not like just chilling out. Like, okay, we'll see you when we get there. I'm not going to stand here for 45 minutes, bro. I'm doing things. I'm talking to people. So if I turn it on for you, then you can track me down where I'm at. Or if you have an audience, it'd be a pretty cool thing to have turned on. I'll probably have it turned on the whole time I'm in Colorado so you guys can track me down on Snap Maps. The other thing is it has a heat map. So it shows you the map and it shows you it's like red where the most snaps are coming out of. So we were wondering one night, where's the networking going down tonight after VidCon? Where's everybody at? Where the party's at? Because if you know anything, you know the networking happens at the bar, right? So I just looked at the Snap Map and boom, I found out where everybody was and we showed up and I was like, yo, we're all social media people, like bang, bang, bang. Is this where the party's at? Like that's what Snapchat told me. So that's actually really, really cool. What did I learn at VidCon? Let's see. VidCon was super exciting. It was mostly teenagers, which was really crazy. So I had to escape out to the bar at the hotel next door many times just to get a little quick refresher. But there's just a ton of networking going on. So like if you're just on the community level even, and I was on the creator, on that creator pass, you feel me? Purple pass, not the purple tape, that's the purple pass. And that got us up to the second floor. And the first floor is the red pass only community. But still tons of YouTubers walking around. Everybody's vlogging. So if you're an up and coming YouTuber and you want to make connections, there's no better place to go to VidCon. You could hit up every person that has a camera and be like, yo, could I record a piece for your channel? Would you like to interview me for your channel? I want to help you create content for your channel right now. And I would imagine you could easily do 10 to 20 of those a day and probably get, 50 to 60, get into 50 or 60 different vlogs over the course of one weekend. And I'm pretty sure that will grow your channel significantly. So it's not so much about going to see the talks or the keynotes. I sat in for some of them. It was pretty much boring. I didn't really learn much. I learned a lot more from the people that I was sitting next to. The questions that I asked them, how many subs do you have? How many subs do I have? Oh, I have 20,000, you have 500,000, but we're still talking like, we're on an equal level. You're giving me tips. You subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. Maybe we can do a collaboration in the future. A lot of people had business cards and were giving those out. I personally gave out 400 business cards. I went with 500. I left with about 100, and I didn't leave any cards out. I handed every single one out and told my story and what my channel was about to every single person that got one of my business cards. And I don't know if you noticed, but my business cards are too legit to quit. So out of a stack of business cards, your boy's business card is about to stand out. And that's pretty amazing. So yeah, massive networking opportunity and opportunity to get into a lot of different people's channels and niches that aren't your niche and get the attention and provide value to a lot of people that may have never tracked you down before. What else did I learn? I learned that Hennessy and Coke is $12 at the Hilton bar. Yeah, pretty depressing. And I think I had a few of those. So another thing that I learned, well, I met these two girls from Ireland. Their mom was handing out business cards. I asked her, hey, your channel? Is that typical what you do and you exchange business cards? And she was like, no, my daughter does and her friend. And turns out they're Musers, which is the username for people who do Musical.ly. They're crowned on Musical.ly, which both of them are, which means verified user on Musical.ly. Together, between the both of them, they have a little over 400,000 followers on Musical.ly. And what's really cool is that there's only 3 or 4 people in Ireland that are crowned. So they're pretty much at the forefront of the game and leading the pack. I wish I knew how many crowned users there were in America so that I could compare that, but I guarantee it's a lot, and that 3 or 4 is not a lot. So they are leading the pack, and that's pretty awesome. I posted a little clip on my Instagram about this. But basically, they have been able to, between the two of them, they have been able to earn 17,000 American dollars on the Lively app, which is the sister app to Musical.ly that allows you to go live. So apparently you put your PayPal address into the Lively app, and that has to match the email you use for Musical.ly or Lively. And then users that watch you can tip you gifts. They have to purchase the gifts in the app store. And then when you get a certain amount of gifts, you can cash out, and Musical.ly gets half and you get half. And just in the last few months, they've been able to rack up $17,000. I'm pretty sure these girls are 13 years old, maybe 14 max. Very ambitious. If you don't know what Musical.ly is, it's a social media app that started out being just for lip syncing, but really it's just a social media app. It has built-in music and video editing, hashtags, likes, comments, replies, all that stuff. And basically you can get creative on there making videos, and then your followers watch the videos and you can build up your status or whatever. I asked those girls, hey, college, you guys want to go to college? And they were like, no, not really. One said they wanted to be a social media celebrity or a social media star, I believe. And the other one said she wanted to be an actress, and they are hyper aware that Musical.ly is going to be one of the vessels that's going to take them onto that journey in the future. And I just thought that was really cool. I fully interviewed them for the vlog, so I'll be editing that vlog the next couple days while I'm in Denver. And yeah, so just keep an eye out for that vlog, the VidCon vlog. It might end up being 2 parts because I think it's going to be pretty long. But that specific part is going to be really awesome. I even asked her to give us some tips on how to move the camera and stuff. If you've seen any Musical.lys, you know they'd be moving the camera in crazy ways. Yeah, so that was awesome. Let's see, what else? Oh, check this out. Check out these mugs that I got, guys. So I got 2 mugs, one for Rosa and one for me. Can you guys see that? It got that Cash Money symbols in the bottom. Thank you so much to Liz and Casey Kellogg, Reezy Ninjas, that sent these to me. I appreciate it very much. I didn't get to use one yet because I was gone at VidCon, but Rosa has been using hers. And I just wanted to show those to you guys just because I thought they were super awesome. Check them out. My favorite part is they're very large. This is a lot of coffee. And if you know me, you know your boy drinks a lot of coffee. Let's see. What else happened at VidCon? As you guys know or may not know, I'm working with 8TV. That's in the App Store, 8TV, the number 8, the word 8. Go check it out. It's social media, shopping, social media with shopping integrated, so you can make content but also share products with your audience and make money right away. You can put your eBay affiliate link in there, your Amazon affiliate link, and if people swipe up from your content, you can get paid. So I was out there working with them. They actually flew me out and put me up for VidCon. And I was basically doing marketing and onboarding, basically gift of gab all day. I talked myself into exhaustion, but I talked to a couple companies that might be interested in working with us. One was Printful, which is pretty cool because if you do Amazon merch or any type of print on demand, you should know about Printful.com. I believe it's free to use. You make products, and then when you sell the products, they get their cut and they ship the item for you. But they don't have a store on their platform. You have to use a Shopify site, and they recently have Amazon integration. So the transaction has to take place somewhere, and then through the API, it triggers Printful to make the design and ship it off. They actually had a bunch of young guys that were really smart at the booth, and like super young, like 25-ish, and like super smart and accomplished. And the artist Ed was there, super talented dude. He was drawing up all these shirts really quickly. If you've seen on my Instagram, I had that Casey Neistat shirt. He drew that in like 10 minutes and then made 100 of them in another 10 minutes. But he told me they ship on average 10,000 t-shirts a day out of their warehouse, which is pretty amazing. And they also just rolled out a fulfillment service where you can send your items to them, just like Fulfillment by Amazon, and they will store it for you and then ship it out to your customer. So we're hoping we can maybe set up some integration with 8TV and Printful so that we can get the 8TV users to be able to sell Printful products directly through the 8TV app. Another company that we stopped and talked to, not necessarily made a relationship with or anything, was this company called Print with a Y, Prynt. They have the sickest device. It's a printer that prints little photos like Fujimax size, and they're stickers. You slide your iPhone into it and it prints photos. But the crazy thing is that somehow it attaches a video to the photo also. So if you look at the picture through the app, the picture that you print, it will show you like 5 seconds of video on it, and it could be a boomerang or whatever. It's crazy good. Super good product. What else? I ran into Chris Strub. He's a famous Snapchatter, social media dude. First guy to ever Snapchat in 50 states. So this book that he wrote is his journey of traveling across the United States, all the people that he met, the places that he stayed, and what happened. And let's see, he signed it for your boy. Pretty cool. I'm going to read this on my trip. There was a ton of companies giving stuff away. So like there was this live Me booth. They were giving away iPhone 7s. There was this company, Pocket Live. They were giving away these. If you downloaded their app, it's like a ring light that clips on your phone. Let me show you real quick. Boom. Super good product. These are probably blown out on private label on Amazon, but you know, these probably cost what, like a quarter, maybe 50 cents max if you buy a bunch of them. Nice little giveaway branded out for your company. Pop socket was there. I got me a pocket full of pop sockets. If one of you guys want a pop socket, I might mail you a pop socket. Let's talk about Delta and how much Delta Airlines sucks. So hold on a sec. Water break. Sorry, guys. So I'm sitting there. I'm about to get on my flight. My flight's going to start boarding in like 35 minutes. And they're like, hey, we got another flight that's leaving in 5 minutes, and we oversold this flight. So if you could please, if anyone would like to volunteer to leave a half hour earlier, that would help us out. So I stood up and volunteered to leave a half hour earlier. So they're like, you got to run over there. They're about to close. So I book it over there, not too far, get to the gate, get on the plane, put my bag up, sit down. I'm literally the last person to get on the plane. And so I'm sitting there. 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. I start to get curious. So I started looking up on the board what's going on my phone, you know, the flight boards. I see all the flight attendants are just sitting down. It's sweltering on the airplane. There's no air conditioning turned on. And I look up and it says that we're not going to leave for an hour and 20 minutes. And this is because there was no pilot, right? I found out when I asked a stewardess. So how ridiculous is that, Delta? I did you a favor, got on a plane in order to get to my destination a half hour earlier. And then if I would have stayed on this plane and sweated like a pig because you didn't turn the air conditioning on, I would have gotten to my location like 45 minutes later than the original estimated time of arrival when I was doing you a favor, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, the air conditioning is a huge deal, but the fact that you have us sitting on the plane on the tarmac for over an hour and not say anything to any of the passengers is ridiculous. It was evident to me that the stewardesses and whoever else was on the plane were just enjoying their break, quote unquote, because they were getting paid and they were just going to sit down for an hour and have a good old time. And so when I was like, yo, I'm getting off the plane, they almost wouldn't let me get off the plane. And I was like, yo, I'm not sitting here and sweating like a pig for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm getting off the plane. And so I grabbed my stuff and got off the plane. They were not nice about it. Then I went to the gate attendant and I was like, you're putting me on this other plane. She wasn't nice about it. I went back to the other gate, the original one. I was like, you guys got to get me on this flight. You messed up. And they were not nice at all. They made me seem like I was a huge problem. Which is ridiculous because I was doing them a favor. And on top of that, this one lady, I forget her name, but it was gate 31A at LAX. I think it was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday at LAX at gate 31A for Delta. She, under her breath, said something like, oh, I'm about to snap on this fool or whatever the hell she said. And I was like, I can hear you, ma'am. Like, I don't appreciate that. You know, I did you guys a favor and you try to play me. So Eventually they did get me on the plane. They were trying to screw over like 10 passengers. And I was like, you guys better make sure you get your vouchers or get your free gift cards or whatever, don't let them play you. And the gate attendants didn't like that. You know what I mean? So they were like, sir, we're taking care of you. You don't need to be involved with these people. And I was like, those are my people. What are you talking about? Those are my people. You try to screw me over. You try to screw them over. Those are my people. I ain't dealing with that. I don't care if just made it right with me. You need to make it right with all other 8 people behind me. That ain't right. So eventually they did start handing out $500 gift cards. Your boy didn't get one because he actually got on the flight that I was supposed to get on originally. But all in all, it was just terrible customer service by Delta in general. I'll never, ever fly on Delta Airlines again, ever. Like, never, ever. I'll rather fly United, all right? I'd rather get dragged than deal with the drag of a customer service that comes from Delta, which is kind of crappy because I felt like, Delta was all right. Delta was chill. But then just a couple employees, with a couple bad energy, they can ruin a whole brand. So just lessons to be learned is control your employees, make sure they have proper training to deal with people. Send them to Disneyland so they can go through the corporate training at Disneyland, because Disneyland knows how to treat customers, and obviously Delta doesn't, right? God, it was just driving me crazy. Anyways, let me get into these Instagram comments and see what's up on the Instagram comments. Remember, if you wanted to get your comment answered for sure, the only way for sure is on Instagram. I'm not going to take any call-ins today just because I have 0 time. As soon as this is over, we are going to grab some food and jet up to San Francisco, and I have a meeting with 8TV, and then relax for a little bit, edit some video, get like 3 hours of sleep, and then get on a plane to Denver for softball week. I will be vlogging the softball trip, and I'm going to vlog on Snapchat or Instagram just to show you guys how easy it is to vlog using Instagram or Snapchat as a tool to make a vlog. I know you've heard me talk about it, but now you're going to see it, and I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to vlog if you use an app like Snapchat or Instagram to build your vlog throughout the day as you go along. What do I mean by vlogging with Instagram or Snapchat? I'm going to film it in landscape mode on Instagram or Snapchat the whole time. When I get done, at the end of each day, I'm going to save it as one single clip. I'm going to focus on doing videos and not pictures, because pictures in the story ruin the vlog. So it will be all videos. It will be all landscape. When I save it, it's going to save it as a portrait clip. But all I have to do is get it into my video editing program. And I even use one on my phone on a mobile app called Video Shop. Rotate it 90 degrees. Then boom, I'll have a YouTube vlog. I'll put it up on YouTube, and it will be a good vlog, little travel vlog, daddy-daughter softball trip, check out Denver, etc. So hopefully we find some good food to eat, because I love showing you guys good food to eat in different places. So let's get into some of these questions here. Shout out to the admins that are banging on the YouTube chat, because I am ignoring it right now. First off, from Liz Kellogg, which is, I believe Liz Kellogg is the one that sent me these mugs. Thank you very much, the Liz Kellogg. What tools do you recommend for repricing? For repricing for books, I recommend using repriceit.com. It's very cheap, affordable, and you can get the job done. It's not the most intuitive, but you can get the job done, and it's very affordable. The one thing that's not good about Reprice is it is a scheduled repricer, meaning it reprices your inventory based on rules you set on a schedule at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 3:15, at 4:37, at whatever time you tell it to. The second repricing tool that I recommend is App Eagle. It's much, much more expensive, and really only recommend it for higher dollar items, or if you sell new items, you should probably use App Eagle, a lot of new items. The reason is because App Eagle is a reactionary repricing tool, which means that it changes the price when your competitor changes the price. So imagine if you're competing against someone that has a scheduled repricer and they schedule their price to change every hour. As soon as they change their price at noon, for example, at 12:01, your App Eagle changes your price, and they're not going to change their price again till 1 p.m. So for 58 to 59 minutes, you will own the buy box over them and have the better price. And then for 1 or 2 minutes, they'll have it, and then you'll have it for another 58 minutes, and so on and so on. Very huge, major key. Anybody that signs up for App Eagle will notice a huge rise in the amount of buy box percentage that they get. It's also very, very expensive for to have as many items as we have, which is a little over 40,000. It's about $350 a month for App Eagle. Reprice It, I believe, is only $50 a month for the similar amount of service. And it works great for books because books are high beta, meaning they don't sell very frequently. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about number one. Liz actually submitted 3 questions. Question number 2, what are 3 mistakes you made when you first started reselling? So one of the first mistakes that I made was I sold stuff in bulk. So I sold Nintendos with all the games and controllers and everything. And then I started to realize like, oh, like what I need to sell is the very basic, like the Nintendo with 1 controller and the cable, and then each game separately. And if there's a second controller, sell that controller separately. So basically to break bulk, I learned don't sell everything together. Sell it in as small as units as you can and break bulk, because if it's a desirable item, it's going to have a lot of search volume for it, and you can sell it, individual pieces. Even broken stuff, you can sell the parts, so that's a good thing to know. Things that are less valuable, you actually create value by bundling them together, but don't play yourself and don't bundle stuff that already has value on its own, okay? Unless you're trying to get a market advantage against your competitors. 3, what is the biggest thing I took away from VidCon? Besides the fact that Hennessy shots were $12, just the networking, it's huge. You can do a whole year's worth of work in 3 days at VidCon, and that's always amazing. DJ B Resells says, can you talk a little bit about using different pricing templates on Reprice It and how you like to use them? It seems like every time I try to add a template, it overrides everything, even when I have it set to only look for a specific price range. Still learning Reprice It. Thank you. So this is a hard question to answer, but we use a template to price our items for the initial price. It's very aggressive. It looks for items that are in a high price range that we set our initial price, finds them, drops them down to market value, and adds 25 to 50%. The ones that can't see, we make one even more aggressive, meaning less comparable offers, and so on and so on. There's always some left for me to price manually. But I usually let a lot of them just hang out for a while until the comparable offers show up, and that will trigger them to be repriced. Let's see. Reprice It is just not a great interface. You just need to play with it. You need to set settings and don't make them live. Don't check the box that says send these to Amazon. Instead, run the template without, it's not live, it's not going to Amazon, and then look at the results on the repriced and the not repriced reports. It'll tell you what was repriced, what wasn't repriced, and what template was used. So you will or what reason it wasn't repriced. And through analyzing that, you should be able to understand what's going on. The one thing you have to be aware of is that through Amazon's API, these third-party services don't have access to all of the data. So it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be offers missed. And you just need to work on that. The one thing that's tricky about Reprice It is that it runs in order from top to bottom. So template 1, template 2, template 3. If you run template 1 and template 2 runs a couple minutes after that, it's not going to reprice any of the items that were repriced with template 1, and so on and so on. So make sure that you have them in an order of how you want them applied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 12, whatever, and so on. Let's go down to Digital Residual says, looks like we have 2 repricing questions, so I'll continue. When and when not to use a repricer? So that's also a tough question, Digital Residual. When should you use a repricer? When you get tired of manually repricing your items, you should definitely use a repricer. If you're repricing items and it's taking a large amount of your time, you probably should start using a repricer. Anytime you have over like 1,000 items, I would say you should be using a repricer. When to not use a repricer, this is a very subjective question and depends on what you're doing, your business model, what kind of average ranks for books that you're picking, what do they have. I would say a decent strategy that I know a lot of people employ is that they price their books at the higher initial price that they want them to be priced at, but they do not let the repricer run and reprice them for 1 month to 3 months. So just giving the books a chance to sell at the price you thought they might sell at before you go in and attack them more ferociously. The one thing that I think everyone should do is you should have repricing templates that apply to older items, anything that's over 1 year, anything that's over 18 months, anything that's over 2 years old, and be more aggressive with them, because the longer things sit around, the more long-term storage fees you're going to receive, and you don't want that. You want to make sales. So, I mean, it's always really tricky when you're using automation, because you're probably going to sell some for less than you wanted to, but usually what I find out is you sell more for more than what you initially priced them at. Caleb Roth, thebookflipper.com. He has some great articles regarding Reprice-Its. He's a self-proclaimed Reprice-Its, repricing templates. He's a self-proclaimed data junkie. So spreadsheet wizard, data junkie, etc. Super smart guy. So when he writes articles, you better read them. And he has a few regarding repricing and templates and strategies. And he did A/B tests, and then he compared them with a bunch of pretty little graphs and everything. So shout out to you, Caleb, for all those beautiful graphs and all the knowledge that you drop on us. Excuse me, guys. Grumpy Sales said, I received a message from a seller saying I can't use their listing to sell the product. Not sure if it's their private label item or they're trying to intimidate me to not sell this item. Can and will seller support help with this? They might. I usually don't like to rely on them for anything. I mean, literally, the stuff they say doesn't hold any weight and doesn't mean anything. So, but they can help you out here and there. And usually it is a seller trying to intimidate you, because if they were the brand owner of that item, they could easily have brand registry and then force you to stop selling it. So if it's not Amazon contacting you about not selling an item, I don't worry about them. I usually mark them as no response needed, or I quote first sale doctrine. And I'm like, look, I'm allowed to legally resell items that I purchased from authorized dealers. First sale doctrine, GTFOH. Peace, I'm out. Don't worry about those fools. If they're legit, they will hit you up in a legit manner. And a message through Seller Central as a customer to you is not a legit way to contact you. So don't ever be worried about those. It's never serious. Let's see. Brent_Raymond says, on a high-ranking shoe, let's just say top half of 1%, what is the shelf life? That is also objective. You can't really answer that, because here's the reason, guys. A shoe with a bad rank, I'm talking terrible, like 150,000, 200,000, but it's profitable to sell and there's no supply, like literally no FBA offers, or just one, or one new offer, not very many. And especially if you check the Keepa, KEEPA.com charts to see the historical stock levels over time, and you see that it hasn't had a large stock, that means that 200,000 rank is worth a lot more. And I would not be surprised if when you send in one pair, it sells right away, even if there was already one FBA offer, because the reason is that a higher ranking shoe with a terrible supply, that supply is the reason the rank is high. And if the supply was better, it would sell more and would have a better rank. And adversely, the opposite is true also. So, a shoe with a good rank but a ton of supply, it might not sell as fast as that 200,000 shoe with not a large supply. So it's super subjective to the situation at hand, and those kind of questions cannot really be answered. I could say that most of our shoes, 50% sell within 3 months of purchasing them, 75% probably sold within 6 months to a year, and the rest sell over the course of 1.5 to 2 years. So whatever type of return you're going to get off your item, is it worth it for you to hold it for that long versus the long-term storage fees? You need to look that up. You need to know that yourself. It's not really a question you can ask someone else, and it definitely doesn't have a hard cutoff yes and no answer for that type of thing. You just need to make sure you're making more good dice rolls than bad dice rolls in the Amazon casino business. Let's see. Mike7 Ontiveros says, fastest way to get on Amazon FBA to allow you to sell in the health and beauty category. You need to get invoices, bro. You need to get invoices from a legitimate health and beauty supplier, and then follow the rules and submit those invoices. If you want to know the fastest way, you should probably contact an ungating service. Go to Google, type Amazon ungating service plus health and beauty, and see how much they're charging. Get your wallet out and pay up. If you want to get in fast, you're going to have to pay. Sounds like you don't want to do much work, so bust out that wallet. Thrifted Sisters said, I just submitted my app to sell in beauty today. Maybe you should contact Thrifted Sisters and see if she'll help you. Ariel Obando says, should I consider buying Gaylords? Yes, you should, but just watch out that that's a raisin cookie. It's a lot of work. You're going to possibly need a warehouse. You're going to sweat a lot. Like going through Gaylords of books is a lot of work. It's backbreaking, especially if you don't have a dumper to dump the Gaylords onto a table. And to really do the process efficiently, you not only need a Gaylord dumper, you need a conveyor belt, and a couple workers for sure. So do I advise you to get them? Yeah, get money. But don't think it's going to be easy, because scraping through a Gaylord is backbreaking work. And like I said, you're going to need some tools to make it easier, or it's going to be even worse. And you usually need more space than like a garage or a storage unit to process Gaylords. But you could take it on a as-is, like one-by-one basis, or however you can get them. But I recommend you to look into all avenues of making profit. Just be aware of what it might entail. Game Room Shop says, what rank do you try to stay under in shoes? Generally, I try to stay under about the top 1/8 of 1%, and that's where I like to be at. But I do go much, much higher, up into 100,000, 150,000, 200,000 for the right shoe, and if the supply indicates that that's a good move to do. The thing is you guys got to know how to find these. I know you guys love these sales rank charts, but that's nothing. You can make those yourself very easily. I actually need one of the Reezy Ninjas to make these for me every month. You go onto Amazon, you switch the drop-down menu to the category that you want to sell in, and you type open bracket, close bracket, and you hit return. What this returns to you is every single item in that category, and it will tell you, 1 through whatever of 629,300,000 results. You take that number of the total results and you multiply it by 0.01. That's the top 1% of that category. Multiply it by 0.05. That's the top 5% of that category, and so on. Then you make a pretty little graph and you capture people's email addresses in exchange for that sales rank chart or whatever. It's super simple. It's not magic. I appreciate the people that make those charts, but I want you guys to know how you can find those numbers yourself and how easy it is to actually make your own sales rank chart for the percentages that you want. Young Money Mike says, tried Inventory Lab for the first time tonight. It's trying to create 2 shipments to the same warehouse. It's a total of 35 books weighing 49 pounds. It's trying to send 20 in one shipment and 15 in the other. It looks like possibly based on whether a label was needed or not. Is there any way to combine these two into one shipment? Not if you're using Inventory Lab, because it creates shipments. If you were making the shipment in Seller Central, meaning list them in Inventory Lab, but then go find them in Seller Central and make your shipment, you might be able to combine the shipping plans into one shipment, but I am not sure. You might also want to turn off stickerless commingled inventory. That way you have to sticker everything, and then they should all go to the same place. Michael Solomini says, hey, Reezy, I was wondering where you get your default condition descriptions for your books that you use for ScanList or Inventory Labs. Been searching everywhere, but haven't found any model condition descriptions to use. If you don't know what to use, guys, you can use the basic condition descriptions that Amazon lists. Go to Google, type condition space guideline space Amazon space books. What comes up is the condition guidelines for books on Amazon. If you're not creative enough to write your own, just use those. You'll never go wrong. Those are verbatim. That's what Amazon wants. It's nothing special, guys, but you got to get creative. Gordon Shumway says, hello, been doing eBay for about 3 years. Opened my Amazon account last week. I'm not really sure what avenue I'll take. RA, wholesale, private label books. I picked up 4 of the same clearance items at Home Depot. They all sold in a week. What advice do you have for a newbie? Thanks, bro. You're very generous. Find out what works for you, Gordon. You might not have the opportunity to buy Gaylords of books where you live easily. You might not have the space needed to process them. You might not have enough books in stores near you. You need to leverage the benefits that you have near where you're at. I don't have a Walmart in my town. If I had a Walmart, I would kill it at Walmart. Some of you guys live in the Midwest. You have 3 Walmarts in your town. Take advantage of that. Be aware of what advantages and disadvantages you have. Find out what works. Find out what you enjoy and what you're willing to do for 10 to 12 plus hours a day, and smash on it. Some people don't want to deal with inventory or customer service, so they could do Amazon merch. You don't even need an Amazon merch. Use a Printful account and set it up right now and start selling with integration to Amazon right now without waiting on Amazon merch. That's totally profitable. Retail arbitrage, it's all retail arbitrage, even if it's books, but maybe you don't have books. So just figure out what works. Maybe you don't have a ton of money to dig into RA, but you have a ton of time, so you can focus all that time on finding wholesale suppliers and finding private label products. You got to understand what are your advantages and disadvantages internally and externally, and then maximize those both together to get a result that works for you. I can't give you any advice that will work specifically for you, except for work your ass off, work very hard, and sweat a lot, because that's the key to success. Everyone thinks there's a secret recipe in every niche and every field. It's not. The only thing that is like common, thank you very much for the $5 tip. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That doesn't happen every show. That's super awesome. Also, guys, I started a shout out while we're talking money. I started a Patreon account. There's only a couple rewards on there. It's patreon.com/Reezy. If you would like to support me and my journey to do social media and make content for you guys, because it doesn't pay the bills at the moment, then you can patronize me through Patreon or whatever. There's a $3 a month option where you don't get anything. You're just showing your love and being a true Reezy ninja. And I would appreciate anybody that would be willing to pledge $3 a month for me to continue on my journey. Flying around all over the place, it's not cheap, and I'm trying to do the damn thing out here. Deliver you guys a lot of good content and just grow my personal brand while also showing you guys what you could do if you followed in my steps. Everything that I do and talk about, you guys can do it too. Just copy what I'm doing and do it in your own way. I mean, it's literally what I'm doing. I got everything I needed from Gary Vee. I ran with it. I'm doing my own thing, and we're seeing what happens. The sky's the limit. I'm going to London in August. Like, it's crazy, guys. I appreciate anybody that supports me in any way, even if it's just sharing my posts or liking my comments or whatever. I love you guys, so appreciate that. Let's see. Shane Reckhurst says, if you have a new Amazon seller account, is it harder to sell products? Definitely, because you're not approved to sell a ton of different categories and a ton of brands. You're going to have to go get approved for as many categories as you can, as many brands as you can. You're going to have to get invoices, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot of work. It could still be done. But it is trending towards seeming like eBay is a much better avenue for people that are getting into the game right now. There's still lots of money to be made on Amazon, but every 6 months that goes by, it gets a lot harder. It gets a lot harder. People are talking about how hard it is to do every single day. People are quitting every time Amazon. Here's the thing, guys. Every single time Amazon makes a rule change or raises fees, the game gets harder, and a lot of people just throw the towel in. Don't throw the towel in. Hang out, because you know what happens? After everyone throws the towel in, the prices go up. CDs got gated even harder recently, and some more popular brands in CD category were restricted. We're going to go over the time limit today. And what happened after everyone left out? The prices for CDs in the market went up $1, $2, $3. And also because people aren't sourcing CDs because they gave up. I find so many profitable CDs everywhere. That's just one example in one category, but every time it gets harder, the people that are willing to jump through the hoops are rewarded immensely. So be that person that is willing to jump through the hoops, because the reality is we're playing against an algorithm. It's not even humans that are making these decisions for us to gate us, to restrict us, to suspend your account. You're playing against an algorithm, and your goal is to get money, whether you got to wear a gray hat or a black hat or whatever. We like hats. You know what I mean? Just get money and just try and act like Amazon doesn't exist, right? Take care of your customers and make as much money as you can, because you're playing against an algorithm, and it's not always going to be in your favor, but you got to do what you can do, because this is the era, the gold rush of e-commerce, and it's just the tip of the iceberg, guys, just the tip. Pause. Anthony 103103 says, if you had to give your best friend only 3 pro tips for OA, what would it be? First of all, it wouldn't be any different than what I would tell you guys, because I would like to think that I treat you guys like you're all my best friends. A long time ago, I used to hoard the information, before I did the Reezy Resells thing. And now it's pretty open, like you guys get more information from me than my best friend does, because he either doesn't want to know or he doesn't want to hear me talk about it that much. But if he tunes in, he'll get it. You know what I mean? And he knows the information's free. So if he asks me, I'm going to give it to him, but usually if you're around me, you don't have to ask me to talk and tell you stuff. you have to ask me to shut up because I don't shut up. That's why the name of the show is Reezy Talks. So the 3 pro tips for online arbitrage. For one, I would say you need to use software. You need to use tactical arbitrage. I have a code for you. It's TA, the letter T, the letter A, mastery, the word mastery. And that extends your 7-day trial to a 10-day trial. So go ahead and check it out for 10 days and see if you can make some money. I know you can. What it does is it scrapes websites for prices and then compares them against Amazon. So you can run a scan while you're asleep, wake up, and then literally have the items highlighted that fit your buying criteria and buy them. The second thing is that you need to use store gift cards and cash back. So use, let me see what it's called. There's one Top cash back, or Jesus, I haven't bought online for a second. Hold on a second. Let me look up cashback sites real quick. Top Cashback and Ebates. So I think Top Cashback is going to give you the most, but there's a fixed limit annually as much as you can use. And then Ebates is going to have the most compatibility. Like almost every single site will have some type of percentage of cashback that you can get. If you don't know what a cashback website is, go to ebates.com before you buy anything. All of you guys should go to ebates.com before you buy anything. I think there's another one, fatwallet.com. Either way, you can check and shop around the different cashback sites, but usually they only pay out like when you get a certain amount of money accumulated. So it's kind of a bummer to use one that only works on one site a month because you'll never accumulate that money to get it sent back to you. So I prefer Ebates because it has a super, it works on a lot of stores. So even if you're not a reseller, anytime you buy anything, especially high ticket items, you should be going to ebates.com, searching for the store, and then clicking the shop now button and heading to the store from Ebates link. So the way it works, I think they get some cash back for referring you to that site, and then they share it with you. And then you get a check in the mail or a check in your PayPal or whatever. So cashback sites with gift cards on while you're doing online arbitrage, and you need to be using software to do it. Those are my 3 tips. I know cashback, gift cards, tactical arbitrage. 3 tips for online arbitrage. If you here again, that topic, if you're ready to put in the work and you know the tools you should use, you're going to make money guaranteed. Gordon Shumway with another comment. Not sure if I'm just more aware of it now or is it true, but it seems like a million people are talking about selling on Amazon, and on top off, I've read a bunch of negative Amazon articles. Is this a bad time to Amazon, or am I believing the hype? You're believing the hype. This is just the beginning. Amazon is expanding into more and more categories, and more things are happening. You need to pay attention to what Amazon's doing. Investing in Amazon as a stock long-term is definitely not a bad idea. They are going up and up, guaranteed. They just acquired Whole Foods, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start shipping groceries to anywhere within 10 miles of a Whole Foods location gets Amazon Fresh deliveries because they turned the back of a Whole Foods store into an Amazon Fresh distribution center. I would not be surprised if that happens. The other thing is Amazon merch, guys. Check it out. It's huge, and it's only t-shirts right now. It's going to get bigger and bigger. They're going to get dye sublimation printers that allows them to print full to the seams, like everywhere on the shirt, all over print. They'll probably do yoga pants and socks. They'll probably do tank tops and sweaters. They'll probably get embroidery machines and be able to make hats like this, So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if New Era hats are made by Amazon in the future. It's like anything's possible, guys. So be aware of what's going on with Amazon and make sure that you take every opportunity to make money that you can. Maybe that's not your way to make money. Maybe you have a lot of good clothing where you live and you can buy used clothing and flip it on eBay, In either way, just pay attention to what's going on the internet and get in where you fit in, as per your internal and external pressures of where you live and what you like to do. And if you're ready to work, here's that topic again. I guarantee you can make some money. It's not 1920, guys. Put that work in and you're going to make some money. The FBA Kid says, when getting ungated with shoes, what brands are already ungated and what brands do we need to ungate after ungating a category? I can't tell you what brands are gated specifically because they're not gated for me, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. And I believe it's different for most people, so you just have to look. I think off the bat, you're gated on Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Coach. I don't know, actually. Talk to another seller that's selling shoes. Get on my Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Reezy Resells. Go in there and ask some people that sell shoes but are not ungated in Nike. What are some of the brands? And if they share it with you and they're helpful, make sure you tell them thank you very much. Maybe have your wife make them some cookies or something. Water break. Water is the best thing on earth next to coffee. Let's see. Matthew Werney says, what criteria do you use to choose whether to blind buy a Gaylord of books? This is a great question. So you just have to look generally at the Gaylord and see what you can see. Obviously, you can't see every book that's in the Gaylord. So even your decision based on what you can see is not it's not the whole story, right? So you just have to roll the dice. You have to buy a Gaylord for whatever minimum you can get them down to and then go through it. You might have to buy 5 or 10 and before you get an accurate sample of whether or not it's worth your money. But there's no real answer to that question except for you got to try it and see if it's worth your money and evaluate it and either come back or don't come back. But you should be able to ascertain what the profitability is within 1 to 5 Gaylords. And so, yeah, unfortunately, you're just going to have to bang it out and see what happens. Second question from Matthew Warney says, a length thread on the Facebook group by one of the admins was on the topic of being buy box eligible for used books and the struggle to get a straight answer from seller support. Any thoughts or wisdom on the used book buy box? No, unfortunately, I haven't even dug into that. I haven't had time to check our account and to visit that to see what's going on. My guess is that it's some kind of glitch and it will get ironed out. I haven't particularly noticed a drop in sales. I mean, we're still up from last year during the same time period. So I'm not too worried about it. There's glitches all the time in Amazon's matrix, and there are people out there working on them to get them fixed. If you have this glitch or you're experiencing this glitch where your used books are not buy box eligible, in the way that I would like you to message Amazon and ask them about it, see if they fix it. Way to tell if you are used buy box eligible, you need to go into your manage inventory page and go to your preferences and enable the column that shows whether or not you are buy box eligible. And then look at it. And if it says you aren't buy box eligible, check those items out and see if you have the used buy box or not, especially if you are properly placed or positioned with price and your ratings to where you think you should have the buy box. If you don't, send Amazon a message and let them know, hey, I should have the buy box and I don't. What's going on? I'm trying to get this fixed. And then hopefully we can get to the bottom of that. Let me know if you guys are experiencing this issue, and then please go comment in my Facebook group so we can see what the heck is going on. Let me go hit the Facebook comments real quick, and then I'm going to have to be out of here in a few minutes to see if there's any questions. Admins, is there any questions that came through on the chat? If you can paste those down into the bottom, that would be great, because it's going to take me a minute to go through here. I don't see mostly just you guys having a little chat. So if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're watching it on Instagram, there's a massive amount of knowledge sharing and community networking going on in the live chat. Like, it's literally 1,000 comments or more every single time. 9 out of 10 of these are you guys talking with each other and just networking and getting the job done. Not too many questions for me to answer. So it's kind of frustrating, but it's kind of cool. I like the fact that the chat has a life of its own. So if you're listening on the podcast, join us Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that you can get in the chat room and introduce yourself to everybody. If you're on Instagram, same thing. Come through, run through. Holler at the homies like 1, 2. What you gonna do? That was a stupid rhyme. Let's see. Shout out to Tech of All Trade. He had to leave early. Let's see. Bro, do you even reprice? Let's see. Not a lot of questions. Let's see. We got any more questions, guys? Any more questions? I'm looking for some questions. I'm driving through the comments. Let's see. Question. Are you using tactical arbitrage? If so, is the main game going after the websites no one is using, or are you succeeding on some sites they offer? Obviously, I do use tactical arbitrage. Obviously, you're going to have more success if you're on a site that not a lot of people are on. We're about to release a package to tactical arbitrage, which will be almost every site ever that you should care about, really. So everyone will soon have access to all of those. But there's still plenty of good items to be bought off of Walmart.com even. The trick to it, guys, is not buying stuff that, Walmart has 10 billion units of. Seeing how many, do the 999 trick where you try to order 999 and they tell you, oh, you can only order 337. That means that's how many they have in the whole Walmart distribution chain. So if you could buy them all up and you can control that stock, you know what I mean? You can manipulate it and hold it and get the price that you want. But if you buy 500 of an item and they have 10,000 of it, chances are that item's going to get watered down and you're not going to get the price that you want. Let's see, going through here. I'm trying to find some comments. Shout out to Christopher Cersei. So Arkong says, hey, Reezy, Amazon just sent out an email asking booksellers for receipts on books. Are Goodwill receipts accepted? Maybe. I did not get the email on my large account. I did get it on my small account. The thing is, guys, you need to not panic. You need to thoroughly read emails. It does not say for all books. It says for some textbooks may be affected. Some popular items in the textbook category may be affected. So you have the word some, you have the word may, and you have the phrase popular products. This does not mean everything, but if I had to count how many people I've heard talking about, oh, the whole book category is gated, I would have like 1 million numbers counted. That didn't make much sense. But the reality is people are very quick to go to the sky is falling before they even read the whole email, which is sad because you're supposed to be a hustler. And part of that is being able to parse information and then apply that to your life. Merch takes a few months to get approved, Tail T. Hold on, I got to end this Instagram before it dies on me. Bye, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. You'll miss the last 5 minutes. You played yourself. Oh, dang, I forgot to update my own Instagram on my iPad. I played myself. So that will not even be on the 24-hour thing on Instagram. Super played myself, and that is not cool. Darn it. Let's see if we got any more comments here. Did you guys receive an email from Amazon? No, we didn't. Not on our large account, but it's not a big deal. Question, how does Amazon respond to receipts from Walmart? Sometimes they request this even for an ungated category. I don't know if they'll take them or they won't. When I applied to a lot of categories, I used retail receipts from stores, but I didn't just turn in receipts. The way I did it was I created 8.5 by 11-inch documents in Photoshop, placed the receipts inside of that, and then, labeled it with the ASIN and everything, and made it extremely easy for them to see the information that they needed and to be able to get what they needed. So that's what I did. It might not work anymore, but you'll have to see. Have you ever considered write your own software, how to sell items? Write my own software, how to sell items? I don't get it. You mean write a book? I am writing a book. It should be out soon. It'll be called The Bookseller's Bible. Do you contact buyers for reviews? Yes, I use a service called Feedback Genius. They send out an email to the customers, and it's actually really cool because it waits till the book has been scanned as out for delivery, and then it sends them the email like maybe 1 day after that. So your customer got the book and is probably reading it right now or using it, and it's fresh in their mind that they got the book. So, you're much more likely to get a feedback when your customer just got the book. Let's see. How long do you have to come up with your first design for Amazon merch? I'm not sure, but if you don't make a design within a certain amount of time, you do get kicked off and you have to reapply. So I would recommend making your design as fast as possible, even if you just have to make a crappy one on your phone and put that up. go for it. Some of my best designs on Amazon merch have been created on my phone. So if you want to know how to create and make designs on your phone for Amazon merch, I'll give you a quick run through. You can use words like use apps. Let me open up my apps folder to show you the apps that I have. So these are the apps that I have on my phone for designing shirts on merch. I have an app called Assembly, another one called Vintage Design, another one called Puffin, that's a browser, one called Typorama, one called Over, one called Fonto, Phonto, one called Artisto, Artisto, and one called WordSwag. Using these apps, I can make shirts on my phone, design them, layer them, add elements, upload my own fonts into these apps, and then I can put them into the Over app, which is the major key because that allows you to make a custom canvas size so that you can take your artwork from these other apps and then put them onto the proper size canvas and save it as a PNG for uploading to Amazon merch. The other thing is that if you want to upload a shirt to Amazon merch and you try to use the Chrome browser on your phone, you will not be able to submit the design. I believe you'll be able to upload it, but the submit button will not work. So you need to use this app called Puffin, Puffin, the Puffin browser. That is the app that you need to use to upload shirts from your phone on merch. So literally you could just draw some crap on Snapchat, throw it on Over, make it the right size. I think it's 4,500 by 3,000 or something like that. I'm totally wrong for sure. Google it, put it on there, and then upload it without even really trying to sell it, just holding it up there to say, hey, I uploaded a shirt. That way you don't get nixed for not uploading anything. That's going to be a major key. Thank you to Big West. He put it right here. He says, if you have not submitted your first product within 120 days, which is what, 4 months, your invitation, it will be deactivated. So yeah, you shouldn't wait 120 days because I just gave you a huge way to do it. It's super easy. Rocco Marquis says, Puffin browser is the truth, especially when browsing bootleg sports at work. As long as you don't work for me, I don't care what you do. But funny how your perspective changes when you have employees. So like when people say that around me, like we're drinking a beer together and they're like, yeah, I just watch sports all day at work. For real? Who's your boss? I need to talk to that fool and tell him he's losing money. But hey, you know, each his own. Miner's Treasure said, I want 100 ideas before I apply. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard because you're only going to get to upload 2 shirts a day when you apply. All you need is 2 ideas a day and you're good to go until you can get approved to 5, 10, 20, etc. Don't wait till you have ideas. That's the worst thing ever. Here's a huge tip that I want everyone to take away is that don't think, act. In business, in work, in life, in social media, in sports, whatever. Don't think. You need to get in the zone. You need to get into the flow state. And that comes from not being over analytical of yourself. When the ideas come to you, you need to do them. You just need to do. And a lot of the times you'll find out your idea will take form once you're actually doing something, because if you wait around till it's perfect, it's never going to come, guys. And that's just the truth. I'm telling you right now, you need to just jump in the pot and fry. Don't worry about what type of seasonings you need. Just throw the meat in the pan, look in the cabinet, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that's when the magic happens. You know what I mean? Don't wait around until everything is perfect, because by then your opportunity is probably gone. I know a lot of people, they're not ambitious. They're scared to take risks. They don't want to do anything unless it's clearly laid out in front of them how to do it and how they're going to succeed and exactly how long it's going to take. You're never going to be successful if that's your mentality, because all of those opportunities are by nature not profitable because it's figured out. That's why it's not profitable, because it's figured out and there's no risk. Everybody's doing it, okay? Fidget spinners, you know what I mean? Good luck selling fidget spinners online. I'd say you could drop some off at a liquor store and sell some or whatever, but good luck selling them online. You know what I mean? People are still messaging me, should I get fidget spinners? No, you shouldn't get fidget spinners. That's way too late in the game. I mean, obviously there's some exceptions, but you need to be ahead of the pack. You need to be going head on into the friction and solving it. That's where all the rewards come from, not from doing things that are, I got 100 ideas and I'm ready to put them down because I waited 3 months and I got my 100. Do you know what happens in 3 months? The whole world could change in 3 months. I had someone quote me an article the other day that was from 2005. And I was like, bro, you just quoted an article from 2005. And he was like, so what? That's not that old. I said, for real? 2005 is not old? Are you kidding me? 2012 is old as hell. 5 years? Do you know how fast this world changes in 3 months? If you were to not use Amazon or eBay or any of these platforms for selling or for social media or whatever for 3 months, the whole world's going to change. You will be out the game and done. You'll be an old man in 3 months. So you need to stay on top of the ball. Why do you think I follow Gary Vee? Because the man has his pulse on the industry, and you can find out what's going on in the industry just by paying attention to him, even just a little bit, right? So you got to be on top of stuff. You need to jump. Just jump. Figure out how to fly later, because trust me, you're going to fly. Yeah, Big West says bring your own designer. Definitely, definitely. Get on Fiverr, get on Upwork, get some designers underneath you and put them to work, right? Because your job is to get the ideas for the shirts, let them make them, and then you upload them. Let's see. We got any more? Rocco said he made $400 Saturday. That's a week's work almost some places. Hell yeah. Lately, when I've been using Inventory Lab, my books have been getting sent everywhere, so I can't fill a box. Have you faced this problem? We haven't made a shipment in a week. Generally, we make one shipment a week. So I cannot say if it started in the last week. I cannot say about that. But we did just finish a 25-box pallet, 900 books. I'm not sure when we started that shipment, but we don't list books using Inventory Lab, so that might be the problem. We use Scan Lister, and then we build the shipments in Seller Central. So I'm not sure if that's part of the problem. This is only the second time I've heard anyone talk about this, but I will know in a week's time for sure when we make our next shipment if this is a problem, because I know one of the persons that contacted me, Alexis Greenberg, she's a moderator in my Facebook group. She's having this issue, and she lives in Northern California and usually ships to the same ONTA California fulfillment center that I ship to. So I'm not sure about this, but I will look into it. I'm sure there's a thread going on in my Facebook group about this, and I would urge you guys information about this to go to my Facebook group and to get in on the conversation and to either help others out or to learn a couple things. Reseller Niche Podcast says jump and build your parachute on the way down. Definitely. Let's see. And oh yeah, guys, while I was in VidCon, I did an interview with the Wall Street Journal. So in the next day to maybe 3 days max, expect to see an article published on Wall Street Journal by your boy, or interviewed, or I was mentioned in the article or whatever. And the article is regarding Nike finally signing a contract with Amazon to sell directly on Amazon. So I know you've seen speculation on Bloomberg or whatever, different things, but it's confirmed. Nike signed a contract with Amazon, and Nike will be selling directly on Amazon. So we don't know what that means for us lowly third-party shoe sellers as far as selling Nike. We don't know if they're going to block off the ability to sell Nike entirely. We don't know if Nike is going to do brand registry and then not allow us to sell Nike at all. I would assume that they would, but at the same time, I know that there's shoes that Nike has sold and put out into the world that they don't have stock of anymore, that we are acquiring and filling that niche. And I would assume that Amazon still wants to sell those, but I mean, contracts are contracts and negotiations are negotiations. So who knows what they came up with. And it might be a sad reality that the future of selling Nike products is all entirely eBay. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just sharing information with you guys. The good thing is that Nike makes up less than 20% of the total shoes that I sell in my company. So it's not a huge deal. There's 80% more other shoes to sell. And I would assume that if Nike is going to corner the market, the prices are going to go up. And then eBay, the buyers are going to go to eBay as well. eBay is working hard to improve their platform as well. I saw in the last week, there's an eBay ad. I still don't know how it works. It says eBay will match Amazon prices. And that blows my mind because it's all third-party sellers on eBay. So what are they doing? Is eBay themselves cutting a check for people when they find differences in prices on Amazon, and eBay's eating it? I don't know. I'm definitely not eating it. So I would love to find out how that goes. Let's see. Aaron Can says, I sent 22 books under 200,000 rank and I'm a new professional seller. How fast was your first deal? Because I'm the lowest prices. Are your books active? And it just depends. You could have a 200,000 book rank book that only sold one copy and you scanned it when it was 200,000. But once you sent it off, it went back up to 1.2 million, etc. Also, you have to know it's not textbook season. Right now is the season to buy textbooks, not the time to sell them. They do sell all year round, but they sell the most during August, September, and December, January. That's when books sell the most. Those are right before the 2 semesters start. There's a little bump in June for summer school. Not much. Might even be a little bit before June. But just know that books are seasonal. Go to Google Trends. Google Trends is a tool that's free that will tell you and show you the search volume nationally, worldwide, and by date and time. So you could see the search rank, like how many searches, the search volume for the word books or the word textbooks in America for the last year, for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years. And it's pretty cyclical. As sure as the sun comes up, there's 2 peaks every year with a little bump for summer school for the word books. So understand how Google Trends works, and you can use that to know when's the time to buy and when's the time to sell in any kind of category. Look up barbecue, for example. Surprise, it pops in summer and it drops in the winter, and that's when you should look for it in clearance on the shelves as on winter, and then you should expect to sell it in the summertime. Same thing with swimsuits, same thing with pants, winter clothing, anything. Also, you need to know that in summer in general, internet traffic goes down. People are not on their phone. People are doing stuff. They're out, they're traveling, they're having adventures, they're camping, they're doing whatever. So even social media itself takes a hit. So during the summertime in North America, your views on social media goes down. It's just what happens. Your sales go down, your views go down. People are not on the computer. They're not at work. The kids aren't at school. They're out doing stuff and having a good time. They're just not buying as much. Let's see. Derek says, question. When you are scaling, how much are you sourcing out to other people? The sourcing, the listing, the prep, etc., everything. I haven't made a shipment to Amazon in over 2 years. Actually, that's a lie. I've made a couple shipments, but only because I was testing out workflows because Amazon made changes and I had to instruct employees or software changed or whatever. But the truth is that as much as you can outsource, you should. And I know the next question, a lot of people, it says, when do you outsource stuff? You outsource things when you feel like or you could be making more money in this moment if you weren't doing this mundane task. So when you're packing a box but you're missing a sale, that's when you know you need to have someone else packing those boxes. Everything like that has the same type of answers. When you're bootstrapping and when you're ready to scale, you should know it based on that feeling that you have that you're losing money. Let's see if we got any more questions. Arkong, please type question if you have a question, guys. Do you set automatic price adjust for textbooks? Because I found them so cheap off season and I prefer to wait and sell at a higher price when they are season. Yes, we do, but there's a caveat. Let me tell you what we do. Reprice It has a wild card SKU for do not reprice. So what we do is we put a capital T, capital B inside of the SKU of any textbook. All textbooks get listed with a capital T, capital B, and then in the do not reprice thing, we add a wild card for anything with asterisk, TB, asterisk. That means anything that's a textbook is not getting repriced. And then during textbook season, we turn that off and let them do what they do. But in the off season, we are not repricing our textbooks. Just be warned though, guys, if you hold off too long, because a lot of people do this, you're going to miss sales. Textbook season is going to come and go, and you're going to have been too greedy, and you're going to get left holding your textbooks in your hand. And trust me, you want to liquidate them when the time comes because you want to get that cash so that you can roll it into fourth quarter opportunity, toys, stuff like that, toys, apparel. Those things get a bump for fourth quarter for Christmas, and you want to take advantage of it. See, question, how many book sourcers do you have? How much do you pay them? And do they also list for you, or do you have a separate lister? We have 3 full-time employees. They get paid $12 to $15 an hour. And let's see, one of them just sources. The other 2 source and list and make shipments. All your books are belong to us. True story. Yeah, true story. If you are a video gamer meme guy, you understand that. Let's see. New edition of textbooks definitely do drop the value of old edition of textbooks. Textbooks are generally printed in 4 or 8 year cycles. So look at the publication date and just be aware, if the book was printed last year, you're pretty safe for at least 3 years. If the book was printed 3 years ago, be careful. The new edition might be coming out around the corner. Bobby Moon says, question, what is the second best selling category besides books? Books are not the best selling category, guys. It just happens to be a category that has items that you can acquire for cheap, that are easy to process, that sell for large margin. Books are very high beta, meaning they do not sell a lot, guys. One book sells and it stimulates the hell out of the rank. There's some, like, a chapstick has a rank of like 800. How many chapsticks do you think sell a day? Maybe like 500 or 1,000. If a book has a rank of 800, it's definitely not selling that many units. So just be aware of how many items are in a category and what type of stuff do people buy. Look at the reviews, the amount of reviews, the amount of supply, the rank, the total amount of offers in that category, etc. And yeah, there's tons of stuff that sell, dude. Electronics, shoes, apparel, grocery. I mean, it's endless. Any category on Amazon that you can get into, that you can find products, I would recommend selling. Clearance toys. Toys are great for fourth quarter. Just be aware of that ranks change. So a toy with a rank of 100,000 in the off season is great, but a toy with a rank of 100,000 in fourth quarter is terrible. So just be aware, guys. 100,000 is not 100,000 all year. When the supply and demand change, so does the criteria for rank. And looking at a category and seeing how many items are in the category and doing what I told you earlier to find the top 1%, that's not really the whole picture, because out of all those items, say there's 100 million items in a category, how many of those have never sold and have no rank? It might be 20 million. It might be 50 million. You never know. But if you had that number and you did the top 1% of the amount that actually had a rank and had sold, that would be much, much better. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Let's see. In the readily available categories, I think toys, kitchen, and home and clothes are great categories to sell in. Definitely. Shout out to Ernst for that one. I'm going to go over to Instagram and see if we have any comments. FBA sent out a different product to customer. I got a negative feedback. How do I prove I never sent in the wrong product, as I don't even carry it? I need this feedback gone. So what you need to do is go into your order, copy the order ID, go down to the bottom of the screen and press contact seller support, and choose problem with order and choose customer feedback removal and put in the order ID, and then choose the reason being FBA's fault and click go ahead, and it should get automatically removed. If it does not get removed, you need to get in the chat with support and tell them the reason, tell them all the stuff that you just told me, because I can't remove the feedback. But Amazon support can. And even if it wasn't their fault, tell them it was their fault. If they don't remove the feedback in the chat, open another chat. Keep repeating until you find an agent that is just relaxed enough to do what you need them to do. Because like I said before, black hat, gray hat, white hat, whatever hat you need to wear to get the job done, as long as your customers are happy and you're not being scandalous on the side of cheating your customers, who cares, guys? We're focusing on keeping our customers happy and making money, but also not getting kicked off of Amazon. So don't be blatant about stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, stuff that I can't tell you about, because I can't like be on the line for telling people to do that, because a lot of people really just copy exactly what I say. They're not being creative. They didn't read all the fine print. And so if I put those things out there, people are just going to get banned from Amazon because they don't know how to be logical about what they should and what they shouldn't do as per their own business and their customers. Bobby Moon says, what do you do when you send items in that were checked in but show up as inactive? You need to figure out why they're inactive and make them active. Usually you have to make a listing. Something happened. You need to list it again, but associate the right SKU with it. And sometimes you can contact Amazon and have them help you with that. Yes, also that too. Sometimes your stuff is getting moved over to other facilities. Either way, whatever the problem is, they will usually help you out. Anyways, guys, it's been an hour and a half, and I only wanted to do a 45-minute broadcast. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Do you guys have any more questions? I actually have to get some dinner and head out to San Francisco for this meeting. And then, yeah, I'm going to Denver at 6 in the morning. So if any of you guys are in the Denver, Colorado area and would like to meet up with me, today's date is Monday, June 26th. I will be arriving Tuesday, June 27th, and I will be leaving Sunday, July 2nd. So if you are in Colorado area in those times and you would like to meet up, you would like to get a one-on-one with me, or you just want to take a selfie or go out and grab some beers or whatever, let's do it. I would love to hang out IRL with some ninjas while I'm up there, because sometimes it gets bored on these softball trips. But yeah, I'm not saying my daughter's boring or anything. But you know how it is. I love to talk. You know how it is. Your 16-year-old doesn't want to talk to you or could care less what you're talking about. So either way, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Let's get this one more question off here. Have you shifted away from thrift stores due to lack of profitable books? What's your favorite sourcing method? Book sales? ? I do love book sales. I have been consistently hitting book sales for the last 12 to 13 years. We drive about 1 hour to 2 hour radius, and we hit all the book sales in that area with a team methodically. Thrift stores are still great for us. We also hit up a lot of shoes and stuff, but we have a couple contracts for Gaylords that we get from an auction place and from another place that I'm not going to talk about. But just because you can't share all your sources, guys, you got to guard your sources. You can tell people what you do and how you do it, but you don't necessarily want to meet up with a stranger and go sourcing. You don't know who these people are. You don't know if they respect you. You don't know if they're going to hire a team to come up against you and take your sources right underneath from you, even though you helped them out and taught them stuff. So sometimes it's not in the best benefit to share all of the information. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes in business. It's competitive by nature. All I can do is teach you guys how to fish. You got to cast the rod and reel the fish in. I can't do it all for you. Let's see if there's any more stuff. No, I don't see any more questions. So please, if you're watching this, smash the like button. There's 88 people watching right now on YouTube, but only 37 people have smashed the like button. So if we could get 50 more likes in the next couple minutes here before I end the broadcast, that would be great. I have another question or two on Instagram that I'm going to answer. Let's see over here. It says, shout out to Jedi e-commerce out here. I got to mail you some business cards, bro. I got you. Travel safe. I definitely will travel safe. Thanks, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the hearts. I very much appreciate it. We got up another 30 likes, so we're at 55 likes, but there's still 84 people watching. So if you guys could take a second of your time and smash the like button, I would appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, why are you even watching it? Because I just spent an hour and 28 minutes spitting game on you. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please don't come back to watch the next video because you're wasting my time. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on bell alerts so you get notified when I go live. Smash the like button. Go to the computer lab and smash the like button 30 times. Just let my playlist run. You know how it's done. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all the admins so much, guys. Clap it up for the admins because these guys do all the hard work. They make sure everyone that's causing drama gets booted. They help me answer questions on live. They help me bring the questions down to where my attention span can actually see them and get them answered. So shout out to all of the Reezy Ninja mods that are in there making the chat what it is. And it is a beautiful thing. So if you've never tuned in on the live video, you got to come in and check out what the chat room is like because the rest of the ninjas are in there and they're wondering where you at. Oh, yeah. Side note, if you guys use Snapchat, we have a private Reezy Ninja Snapchat group story. If you want to get into that group story, it's free. All you need to do is send me a message on Snapchat that says, I'm a Reezy Ninja, and then I will friend you on Snapchat, and I will put you into the Reezy Ninjas group. I think there's about 130 people in the group, and there's 400 people that can view it. And it's great to have a community interaction on Snapchat. it's like I don't even have to post on that, but you guys are in there talking and teaching each other, sharing deals, etc. And it's really great. It's Reezy Resells on Snapchat. Moderators, please feel free to shout out all your Instagram handles, your Snapchat, whatever. Also, if you're a moderator and you're a member of the Reezy Ninjas Snapchat group, you also feel free to plug your stuff on there. Please try to provide some value while doing so, because then everybody else that's not really helping me out, they want to go ham on plugging themselves left and right, and that's not what it is. We will ban you for that. What it is, though, is an amazing thing where people on Snapchat can get together and have a community. You can meet the other Reezy Ninjas. And I know a lot of you guys prefer to be on Snapchat. You're not on Instagram or whatever. So it's just a great thing. Check it out. Remember to update your Instagram and update your Snapchat so you can do the new Instagram lives where it saves it for 24 hours, as well as the Snap Map function on Snapchat, because it's pretty cool. Until next week, guys, this has been a Reezy Resells broadcast. And if you ain't flipping, you slipping.